The lottery, a game of chance that promises the dream of instant wealth and a better life. For just a few dollars, you're told, you could escape the grind, pay off your debts, and live a life of luxury. It's a powerful idea, isn't it? A single ticket could change your destiny. But is the lottery really the life-changing opportunity it claims to be? Or is it a carefully crafted illusion designed to exploit hope and desperation while lining the pockets of corporations and state governments? Today, we're exposing the dark side of the lottery, a system built on broken promises, greed, and exploitation. Let's start with the odds. Lottery commercials paint a picture of big winners and life-changing payouts, but the reality is far grimmer. The odds of winning a jackpot, like Powerball or Mega Millions, are astronomical, roughly 1 in 300 million. To put that in perspective, you're more likely to be struck by lightning, attacked by a shark, or even killed by a vending machine. Yet millions of people line up to play every week, convinced that they might be the exception. Why? The answer lies in the psychological manipulation baked into lottery advertising. Campaigns use bright visuals, uplifting music, and slogans like "It could be you" to make the dream feel attainable. They focus on the few winners and never mention the millions who lose. This technique, known as the availability heuristic, makes the idea of winning feel far more realistic than it is. And let's not forget the classic phrase, "You can't win if you don't play." It's simple, but incredibly effective in pushing people to buy tickets, even when logic says it's a bad bet. But when the odds are so stacked against you, is it ethical to keep selling this dream? The emotional roller coaster of hope and disappointment is a powerful tool that keeps people coming back. The thrill of the possibility, no matter how slim, is enough to override rational thinking. People plan their lives around these draws, dreaming of what they would do if they won. But for most, those dreams remain just that, dreams. The lottery industry isn't just a game. It's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, and its most loyal customers are often the people who can least afford to play. Studies show that lower-income individuals spend a disproportionate amount of their money on lottery tickets. In fact, people in the bottom economic quartile spend as much as 10% of their annual income on lotteries. Why? Because for many living paycheck to paycheck, the lottery feels like their only shot at a better future. It's no accident that lottery ads are heavily targeted in economically struggling communities. Drive through low-income neighborhoods, and you'll see billboards featuring smiling winners holding giant checks, promising an escape from financial hardship. Meanwhile, wealthier communities are rarely bombarded with the same level of advertising. This targeted marketing isn't just predatory, it's strategic. It exploits the desperation of people who feel like they have no other options. Is it any wonder that the lottery has been called a tax on the poor? The cycle of hope and disappointment continues, trapping many in a never-ending loop of financial strain. Communities are beginning to speak out, demanding more responsible practices and better financial education. There is hope for change, but it requires awareness and collective action. Together, we can push for a fairer system that doesn't prey on the vulnerable. Now, where does all the money from lottery ticket sales actually go? On average, only about 50 to 60% of lottery revenue is returned to players as winnings. The rest, it's divided among administrative costs, retailer commissions, and state governments. States often justify their lotteries by claiming the revenue funds education or other public services. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find that these promises are often misleading. In many cases, lottery funds don't actually increase education budgets. They simply replace existing funding, allowing states to redirect money elsewhere. For example, some states use lottery funds to cover general budget shortfalls or non-educational expenses, all while claiming they're helping schools. Meanwhile, classrooms remain underfunded, teachers are underpaid, and students lack basic resources. Are we really funding schools, or is this just another marketing ploy to keep people buying tickets? The harsh reality is that the lottery often preys on the hopes and dreams of the most vulnerable, promising riches, but delivering disappointment. So next time you buy a ticket, remember where your money is really going and who it's truly benefiting. The dream of winning big is enticing, but the reality is often far from the glittering promises. Let's shift focus to the winners, the lucky few who beat the odds and hit the jackpot. While their stories are often portrayed as fairy tales, the reality can be much darker. Studies show that a significant percentage of lottery winners face bankruptcy within just a few years. Sudden wealth brings challenges most people aren't prepared for, from mismanaging funds to being targeted by scammers and exploitative financial advisors. Then there's the social fallout. Many winners report strained relationships with family and friends who may feel entitled to a share of the winnings. Some even face threats or violence from those who feel cheated out of their share. And let's not forget the psychological toll. Winning the lottery can cause a phenomenon known as sudden wealth syndrome, which leaves winners feeling isolated, anxious, and overwhelmed. The dream of instant wealth often turns into a nightmare. Behind the scenes, the lottery industry is driven by powerful interests that ensure the system stays profitable. Lottery operators, advertising firms, and state governments work together to maximize ticket sales, often at the expense of vulnerable players. Lobbying efforts by the lottery industry have blocked reforms that would make the system more transparent or fair. For example, proposals to cap ticket prices, limit advertising, or ensure a higher percentage of revenue goes toward public services are routinely defeated. Why? Because the current system is too lucrative for those in power to change. And while lotteries are marketed as harmless fun, they contribute to a larger issue: gambling addiction. Scratch cards, instant win games, and other lottery products are designed to be addictive, keeping players coming back for more. How many lives have been ruined chasing the dream of a jackpot that will likely never come? The lottery is often framed as a voluntary tax, a harmless way for states to generate revenue without raising taxes. But when the burden of this voluntary tax falls disproportionately on those who can least afford it, can we really call it fair? The lottery isn't just a game. It's a system designed to exploit hope, perpetuate inequality, and enrich those who run it. It creates the illusion of opportunity while ensuring the house always wins. The question is, how do we break free from this cycle of exploitation? If this video opened your eyes to the realities of the lottery, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Your support helps uncover the stories they don't want you to know.